Hey everybody, the Bad Pennies are back and we have some friends with us today. So I'm Sho and this is my friend Alan. We also have Mezov and Maroney.
How you doing?
Hey. So one of the good things about us having a guest today is the subject that we're going to talk about, which is the importance of having a circle of men.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we've kind of covered a roundabout way of getting here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. When we talked about the difference between being a lone wolf or a pack wolf.
Exactly, and how important it is to have a pack.
Yeah.
Right, and that really our way of being is all been developed by being part of the pack rather than being lone wolves. In fact, the truth is, lone wolves often die because they don't have the resources to be able to survive by themselves. So, and men are arguably not different.
Yeah.
When we do everything alone, we don't survive very well. We're not as successful as men who know how to have a pack and have a circle of men and how to use them.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So let me let Maroney and Mezov introduce themselves and just say hi and a little something about yourself.
Hey everyone, Mezov is my last name. David's my first name. I'm from Brockton, Massachusetts, and it's an honor to be here.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Mezov.
All right, Maroney coming in from New Hampshire, way up in the Northeast in the bitter cold. It's nice, beautiful 82, 85 degrees here in Southern California.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be here.
Right on. Thank you so much for joining us. They're here for another reason, but it's all in relation to what we're talking about as far as being in a circle of men. And one of the things for me that I got from being in a circle of men is a sense of accountability, a sense of responsibility for myself. You know, the things that were put on me to make sure that I took care of within my own life and also within the circle, to make sure that we all stood up with each other, held each other up, pushed each other from behind when we needed it, that kind of thing. And I just thought maybe we could talk about that. Do you guys have a similar kind of experience?
I'll hold it if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Same experience. In the real world, I mean, I own a contracting company in New Hampshire. I mean, I could never do it alone and get the success that I've had. Being surrounded by other successful men, being in a, you are what you put yourself in.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, having a circle of men has pushed me to strive to do better, but also put myself, accountability, 100% accountability. And I don't know why any man would want to do it alone. So yeah, I have the same experience.
Yeah, and for me, it's about commitment to things, and then getting those things done with the help of other men. And my basic nature is I don't want to do a damn thing. And many men are like this, right, that I've noticed. And we, my team and I produce results individually and as a team. And then we make commitments around achieving those results and then hold each other accountable to doing that.
Yeah.
And that's been the most important thing in my experience.
Thank you. How about you, Alan?
Well, I have had a circle of men for a long time, and before that, I really tried to do it all alone, and it didn't work very well. In fact, one of the greatest casualties of doing it alone was my marriage.
Wow, that's big.
Yep. If I'd had the kind of men in my life then that I have now, they wouldn't have let me do the stupid shit that I did. Do we bleep that, by the way?
Yeah, I will.
Oh, dang.
It's okay. Everybody knows what you said.
Yeah, of course they do. So what I wanted to talk about was not just having a circle of men, because there are a lot of men out there that have been in fraternities, or you got your drinking buddies and stuff like that. But we're not talking about those kind of men. We're talking about having a relationship with men on a different level, on a deeper level, that isn't about, occasionally, of course, you might go out and have some beers or get together and barbecue or whatever, but it's the kind of relationship that you want to have with men. It's not just having men, because that's not enough.
It's quality.
Right, because when you said about accountability, what happens with drinking buddies is that everyone sells each other out. It's like they won't tell each other the truth, or they develop some kind of Monty Python nod wink wink relationship that if you don't tell on me, I won't tell on you, and it all falls apart.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about, and the reason that we do this podcast, is to bring things to men that we know work.
Okay.
Do things that work. Remember that. How many times have we said this in this podcast?
Yeah.
Like 1,000, right? It's like, in the end, do what works.
Yeah.
And having a circle of men that are good men. Okay, so we're going to make that as a qualification here.
Good
It's
man.
not just any man, right? You want good men. And what is a good man?
Honorable, trustworthy,
Trustworthy,
strong, committed,
all right,
responsible.
responsible,
Did I miss anything?
Discipline.
Discipline.
Yes, discipline.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, and not good men are not afraid to tell the truth to their men, to the men in their circle.
Okay.
Right? So if you're doing stuff you shouldn't be doing, a good man will get in your face. He will stand up and he will tell you that you're doing stupid shit and to knock it off, right?
Yeah.
Or in the middle of the night, you get a phone call, or your car breaks down on the freeway at 4:00 in the morning, and your man answers the phone. That's a good man, right? Not only does he answer the phone, he gets up and he gets in his car and he comes and picks you up,
Yeah.
or at least helps get you safely to where you need to go.
Yeah.
It's good men will go beyond convenience, and they will go beyond comfort.
Okay.
They will go beyond where many men today quit because it's they can't be bothered. It's too hard. It's too uncomfortable. Oh gosh, I need my sleep, and all of that kind of stuff. So when you're looking for men to be part of your circle, you want the kind of men that are that don't care about that stuff.
Okay.
That's not important to them. What's important is getting things done, being successful, doing what works, and being an example to the world about what it means to be good men. And that's everything this podcast has been about for the whole last year.
Yeah.
We've been bringing you qualities of who we are that the world needs us to be in order to make a better place.
Yeah.
And especially to make the world safe for women and children. And again, like my marriage, that when it fell apart and I was doing stupid things, I didn't have men in my life that would have stopped me. And it might have made all the difference in the world.
Okay.
Because I was married to a very good woman and blew it. Right?
Yeah.
So do you men want to say something about what I just said, or have a comment about it?
Well, yes, I had an epiphany a couple of years ago about how the world is in a family. The entire world is one family. And I would treat every child as if they were my own and take care of them that way. That's a really great place to be. But the other thing about what you were saying about holding men accountable and how great of a place that is that you are able to do that as well and bring great care to men while also bringing them the truth, no matter how difficult that may be for them to hear. So it's caring with masculine truth.
Excellent.
Thank you.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I would add in, as you were talking about the qualification being good men, picking men that have the capacity to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Like not surrounding yourself with men that do stupid things because I want to do stupid things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of putting yourself in the position to be helped.
Yeah. I think it's important to have men that you respect.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it, because if you respect them, then you will respect their truth. You will, see the influence and the leadership that they may have and want to be a part of that, continue on with that, because that's how you make yourself better, right? There's so many times that I've seen where if you want to do stupid shit, you can find someone that's going to help you do stupid shit. That's not going to help you. That's not going to make you a better man. That's not going to make you an honorable example for your children to look at. You know, the legacy that you want to build is a very important thing that every man should strive to create. How do you do that if you don't have a strong backbone and the people behind you in order to make that happen? You know, we did speak on legacy before, but I definitely think that the quality of men that you associate with brings out the quality in you, right?
Yeah. And vice versa.
Yeah.
It goes the other way too. You know, your qualities bring out the best in them as well, and it's one of the reasons that this works. And one of the best things about having that circle of men is that you sharpen each other, and because without men sharpening each other, we just get into like a comfort place, right? Where we just, you know, our favorite easy chair, you know, and getting, you know, our favorite food and just doing the same thing. And it's all comfortable, and there's no risk involved, and but there's no growth, and you don't make any difference to the world, right? It becomes even difficult to be an example to what it means to be a good man, what it means to children to see, you know, in our world, children need to see what good men are, and what they're like and what they do and how they hold themselves and all of that kind of stuff. So and then when it comes to going out into the world and being successful in the battles that we fight there, those men in that circle, good men, will help sharpen you so that you don't fail. You don't fail, whether it's in a marriage or in your career or whatever it is, you know, or as a father, you don't fail, or at least the failure isn't as bad as it would be if you tried to do it all alone, right? Because that's what happens. Men do everything alone, and they fail, and the failures are miserable and difficult.
In your circle of men, is it important to, how important is it that your circle of men knows each other? Or should you just have your own, like, okay, this is my mentor for this is my mentor for that. I hope this is my workout buddy. And this, is it important that the men are all in the same circle?
Yes.
Let's talk about that for a second.
So I could expand. You want me to expand on that? The answer is yes. But there's a reason why the answer is yes. Of course, you have to know every man that's in your circle of men, and what his traits are that are, you know, qualities, the things he does well, and even the things he doesn't do well. You have to know the things that you can rely on them for, right? So if a good example, one of the men that's going to show up today is a plumber. That's part of our circle that we're working with at the moment, and he's going to do some plumbing things for me, right? But I wouldn't have him come and do, you know, pitch a roof or whatever, because that's not what he does. So I know what I can count on him for. I know what I can rely. I'm making this really simple, just as an example, right? But when it comes to the men as a whole, you know, you rely on all of them for and trust all of them in terms of knowing that they will not sell you out, that they will not turn their back on you, that they will always tell you the truth, even when it's hard to hear. And you know, years ago, doing some other kinds of work that I've done, one of the definitions of friendship was someone who will tell you the truth, even though you don't want to hear it. You know, that's a sort of a sign of a real friend. But it applies here too. In having your circle of men, if you're finding men that don't tell you the truth, they're not a good fit for having a circle of men. They're not going to hold you accountable. They're not going to tell you the truth, and ultimately, they're not going to help you sharpen your skills and be prepared for life, you know, for all the difficult things that happen in life.
But I want to talk about the men knowing each other in the circle. How important is that they all, not just you individually knowing these men, but these men knowing each other as well?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's you knowing them, they know you, everyone knows each other. It produces a bond. The more that you know a man, and the more that you know you can rely on him, and a lot of that doesn't happen sitting around talking, of course, because that's really not how we communicate, right? It happens by doing stuff together. It happens by those moments where a man does hold you accountable, or when you've got stuff that's happening and you need to get it off your chest, and that you know that you can, and all the rest of the men know they can. And so everyone knowing each other really well sets up a situation where you can take care of each other in many ways that you can't go to women to be taken care of. Only other men can take care of you.
Yeah, I think there's a period of time at the beginning of when men begin to know each other, that you learn to understand about what they're willing to do for you, and how far they're willing to go for you, and what they're willing to be for you.
Right.
And I think that does take a while, but there have been circles of men that have been put together that don't know each other and quickly learn to accept each other and then push each other forward.
Okay.
And the best, I mean, all of these men have something to do with our successes and our wins. And then the best part is celebrating together
Yes.
with your men afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, in a big time way. And I'm not talking about alcohol or drugs or anything, but in a really great way. So, I mean, these are only some of the benefits of having a circle of men.
Oh yeah, a lot of benefits. You want to say something?
Yeah, I would just kind of add in that if men want to help each other, they need to learn how to help each other. So the only way to really learn how to give your care and to take care of a man is to learn how to take care of men.
Right.
Surrounding yourself with men that you don't know, figuring out, where a man falls short, where a man wants to go. And that's personal too. Like where do I want to go? What kind of men do I want near me? What qualities do these men have? So that's 100%. It's all about, caring.
Yeah.
Caring enough to push a man.
Mm-hmm. I think that I find it that I can contribute something to the circle that's uniquely me, but it benefits the circle. And then someone else has something else to contribute that's uniquely them that benefits the circle. For all of us to be in that same circle, we all get the benefits of each other at the time, whenever we need it. I see that as a strength. And we may not know each other in the beginning, but once we get bonded, that bond stays solid, and we know that we're working with honorable, true men, respecting each other, wanting the best for each other. I want the best for you, even though it doesn't affect me. But what can I do to help you? I'm happy to celebrate the success of another man. Especially, it helps me a little bit. If I helped him to find that success, then I'm happy that I helped him find that success.
Definitely.
I love that. That's a great thing to be able to participate in.
Yeah, that's like as a man, men that I don't know. Nazov knows men that I don't know. So the only way to really build and help a community is to help the individual man.
Yep.
The man is only, he is going to go places where I can't go. Any other man.
And one of those, once you have a good circle, you could work with other circles of men to do things. And when you start to combine circles of good men, powerful men, you can start to do things that change the world, that actually make a difference. The question that I'm sure some of them are asking right now: how many men should be in that circle?
That's a good question. How big should a circle be? How small is too small? How big is too big?
So what do you think?
I would say 2 men is too small, and I would say 12 men is the upper limit of a circle of men. There can be what we call tribes that are many men, but those are
Made up of other circles.
those are other circles of men. Yeah, so that would be my opinion on that.
You said 2 is too small and 12 is a good number, a good high
I
number.
think 12 is getting up there.
12 starts to get difficult in my experience. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say it kind of goes by the team, the
Yeah.
capabilities of each man. If men start falling off the sides, it's too big.
Yeah.
If men are bored, it's too small.
Okay. I think
There you go.
If they're bored,
you
they're bored. It's too
gotta have
That's
a chain.
always true,
Right?
yeah.
A chain is as strong as its weakest link, but you have to have at least 3 links to call it a chain, right?
Right.
There's got to be a few. I think my magic number is somewhere between 6 and 8.
I've always said no smaller than 5. And it's a job. It's not necessarily an easy task to undertake to find 5 really good men. But why not? I mean, wouldn't that be a great undertaking?
Yeah.
Something honorable, something worth of your time to develop a masculine relationship with 5 really good men that you trust, and men that trust you, and because you're together, all of your lives go to another level. All right, it's an uplift in many ways. And even if something happens, that someone crashes in some way, or something terrible happens, or a tragedy happens, you can still hold that man up. 5 men is enough to 4 men holding that man up. I like 8 personally. I think 8's a really good number. 12 starts to get a little unwieldy, but it would be the upper number for sure. 2 is definitely too small, but I would always keep it 4 and up, 5 and up, somewhere in there.
Thank you.
That's work, though. That means that you have to go out into the world, and you've got to find good men. Maybe you already have some in your life, and maybe if you were like me many years ago, I didn't have any. I didn't have any really good men in my life.
Yeah.
And so I had to start from scratch. But you got to start at some point, and just imagine how much better your life will be having good men in your life and having a circle of men.
A circle of men that can hold you accountable, that can help you up when you fall down, maybe see something that you're not able to see, and give you some advice that you may not have thought about. It's okay to have differing opinions at times, because it's part of the exercise of life, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
And taking the risk. Taking the risk to find the men. Putting yourself out there and learning how to trust men, to find a circle of men, because there's plenty of good men out there. I just don't sometimes surround myself with the best ones. So taking the risk.
So here's a quick question as we're wrapping this up. What do you do when you say you haven't always surrounded yourself with the best ones? What do you do when you realize a man isn't up to the caliber that you're really wanting or looking for? What do you do?
I would say you draw the line. This is where we are. If you're down here, we and you're not willing to get above the line, you got to find somewhere else to be. We are at this level, and if you can't push yourself to be a better man, I don't want men in my circle that don't want to get better or do better things in the world. I don't want men standing still. I don't want men going down by their own choice.
Yes, well, I too spent many years without a circle of men, and the best years of my life has been since I have been putting good men around me. Absolutely, there's no question about it.
That's excellent. And so just think of this, that with a circle of men, all of that stuff that you used to dump on your wife or your girlfriend, you don't do it anymore, and they will be so thankful. They will be so thankful that you're taking it somewhere else, but they don't have to deal with it, because they don't even know how to deal with it, and they don't really want to deal with it. Even if they tell you that they do, they don't.
Yeah.
So there are many benefits way beyond what we've talked about, but even just the ones we mentioned here is worth the effort to find good men in your life, and again, it will require something of you. You can't just have good men in your life and not do anything.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to have to do the right things. You're going to have to reciprocate, hold them accountable as well. Tell them the truth when they don't want to hear it. Show up for them in the middle of the night if that's something that has to happen. I mean, even be a stand for their families when there's tragedies and things like that. There's so many great benefits. We could talk about it all day, really.
Yeah.
So but the bottom line with all of this is that have a circle of men, a circle of good men, and if you don't, get started. Start looking, take the risk. That was really brilliant about risking, because it is a certain risk of yourself to bring men into your life in that level. But it's worth it. The risk is worth it. When you find, good men, it'll definitely make a difference. And perhaps you won't end up divorced like I ended up.
Yeah.
or other things that can happen.
Yeah. I hear
Or,
you.
you know,
All right. Well,
okay.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
My friends, my new friends,
Thanks for the guests.
Mesroff and Maroney,
Yeah.
and the Bad Pennies will be back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.